What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is another week of Miatas at the Gap prep right now. What I want to do today is hopefully get the engine most of the way assembled. We're going to get a lot of these parts replaced. We got a whole table full of parts back here that need to get replaced on the engine. Biggest thing right now is we got all the valve stem seals done. That's probably the hardest part of this whole thing. So what we can do now is drop on the new head gasket, put the head back on, and then just start replacing things. So hopefully it should go pretty quick from this point forward. But before we begin, I have to give a huge shout out to Miata. They came in clutch on this project, literally and figuratively. I definitely would not have been able to get this done on such a quick time frame without their help. They provided a good bit of the parts that we're going to be using today. So big thank you to Moss. It's been a blast working with everyone over there. So if you do need anything for your Miata, make sure to go check them out at mossmiata.com. They got you covered from everything from aftermarket upgrades to OEM replacement parts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so little update of where we're at currently. Yesterday I cleaned a lot of spots on the engine and ended up putting a fresh coat of black paint on the block. We also put the new head gasket on, got the head back on, got the head torqued to spec. I dropped the cams back in and I started putting all the cam caps on. Only thing left to do there is actually torque all the cam caps to spec. I had to order a torque wrench because my torque wrench doesn't go down low enough. The cam caps need to be torqued to about 100 to 125 inch-pounds. I have a foot-pound torque wrench. It doesn't go low enough, so I ordered a torque wrench. That should be here soon. We can finish that up. While we're waiting on that, there's a couple other small things we can do that we're going to do today. Also yesterday, like you saw, I pulled the crank bolt and the crank gear, and I'm really glad I did because my front main seal looks very bad. Definitely needs to be done, so we can do that today as well. I actually ended up ordering a new crank gear here because in the process of getting it off we ended up chipping the edge here some, and honestly it looked like it had been chipped before, but we made it worse. So got a new one of these, got a new Woodruff keyway as well, and we already have the new crank bolt, so all of this will be new OEM, so we should have nothing to worry about in that regard. So overall I think we're in pretty good shape. I'm pretty happy with the progress we made. We're going to keep going today, do as much as we can. Torque wrench and those new crank parts should be here early next week, so then we can get very close to finishing this up. So for now, I'm just going to keep going and see what we can get done. Alright, I think that is quite literally as far as we can go today. The engine is looking really good now. It cleaned up really nice. For the most part, everything is clean now. We've got that fresh coat of black on the block. Head cleaned up really good, so the silver and black looks really good together, I think. Whole front of the engine is clean. The nice new clean water pump. We got a new front seal in there. All new gaskets on the water outlets on the front here. We replaced that coolant ECU sensor at the rear of the engine. We got a new gasket on the way for that rear water outlet, as well as a new plug that is called the cursed water plug. We're going to replace that. It definitely looks like it needs to be replaced. It just swelled up pretty good. At this point, I'm literally just waiting on the new front crank parts. We can assemble that and then complete the timing belt, as well as that torque wrench, so we can finish torquing the cams down. And then at that point, all we've got to do is get the engine off the stand. We can change out the rear main, and then it's just clutch and flywheel, and we're pretty much ready to drop the drivetrain back in the car. So I'm pretty stoked. We're in pretty good shape. We should be getting very close to getting all of this done by the end of next week. So that's where I'm gonna wrap this one. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you in the next one.